All right, so to get started, you need to set up your graph. On the left, you have your sample data, so this is just made up data for calling out behavior. And on the right, we have our graph. So the first thing you want to add to the graph is the title. So that can be the title of your problem behavior. In this case, it's calling out. For the y-axis, you want to label it or have a title. For this, I did percentage of intervals with the target behavior. If you did frequency, then you could just type frequency of behavior or whatever fits your data. And then same thing for the scale for the axis. I did 1 to 100 because I'm using percentages. If you're doing frequency, you can do 1 through 10 or whatever your frequency goes to. So you want to label that and make sure the scale is appropriate. So I just labeled every 10th for the scale. Same thing for the x-axis, you want a title. You usually do sessions. You could also do dates or whatever fits your data. In this case, I did sessions. And then label however many sessions you have. All right, so now you're going to start graphing your data. So we'll start with the baseline data, that's sessions 1 through 3 on the data on the left. So looking at session 1, you had 70% of intervals with target behavior. So looking at the x-axis, you're going to find 1, and then at the y-axis, find 70, and you'll put your data point on that intersection. So you'll do the same thing for sessions 1 through 3. So you'll find 70, 80, and 75. And when you're done, you're going to connect the data. Right, the next thing you're going to do is do the same thing for your intervention data. So this is sessions 4 through 6, or however many sessions you have. So draw your data points and then connect the data points with a line. It's really important that you do not connect the baseline data to the intervention data because they happened in 2 different phases and you don't want to get that confused. Right, next we're going to add the phase change line. So the reason you don't connect the baseline data to the intervention data is because it happened in 2 different phases, and this line is going to show the difference between the 2. So you're just going to draw a straight vertical line between sessions 3 or 4, or wherever your data splits between baseline and intervention. Once you have that line drawn, you want to label the 2 phases. So above the baseline phase, you're going to label it baseline, and then above the intervention phase, you're going to label it intervention. All right, the last thing you need to do is identify whose data this is, so your student or your client's. What you're going to do is just draw a box somewhere on the graph that doesn't have data, but it's still on the graph, and then you're going to write the person's name inside. So for this project, you're going to use a pseudonym. So for this pseudonym, I just used Sarah, and I put it inside the box.